Hey dreamers, this is Anisha Jennings, a fellow immigrant and an entrepreneur. From being an engineer in India to building my tech business in the US, I've lived the journey you're on. Welcome to Your American Dream podcast, where we turn immigrant challenges into superpowers. Are you feeling out of place, struggling with a job hunt, or simply missing home? I've been there, and I'm here to guide you through it. In each episode, we'll dive into real stories, practical advice, and mindset that will help you write your unique success story. From navigating cultural differences to building a purposeful life, I've got you covered. So if you're ready to turn your immigrant experience into your greatest strength, let's dive in. Your American dream starts now. Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Anisha Jennings, and today I'm so excited to welcome Tania Blaize, founder and CEO of Blaize Accounting Services. With over 20 years of experience in finance and accounting, Tania helps small business owners simplify their bookkeeping, automate financial systems, and gain actionable insights that drive growth. Known in the community as the Small Biz Finance Coach, she empowers entrepreneurs not just to stay compliant, but to thrive financially. Welcome, Tania. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Anisha. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us about your journey, right? You mentioned you're a mom, a business owner, you were in corporate, and now you started your business. So tell us a little bit about your journey initially, like your early life. What did that look like? Adapting in the US, what did that look like? Let's start there.
So I was born in Jamaica, the rural side of Jamaica, and I was surrounded by grandparents. My grandfather was a tailor who was also a bus owner. And my grandmother, she was a restaurateur. She owned a restaurant that also had a bar. So I had small businesses in my community. Everyone that I knew didn't have what we call today as corporate jobs. They had, working locally in the community. And so I migrated from Jamaica on a student scholarship. I went to Monroe College, did well at Monroe. I studied accounting there. From Monroe College, I left and went to do my MBA at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I attended the Tina campus. And so I developed a love for accounting along the way and also for finance. And what better way to marry the two than to be an accountant and helping not only small businesses, but at that time when I worked in corporate, high net worth individuals as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So when you started, did you always like numbers, like finance? How did you know that you want to enter this field?
That's an interesting question because when I was in school, I was not very good at math. So think about someone who had to be getting extra lessons for math. Back then, we had examinations called CXC and GCE. And the teacher told me that I was not prepared to do the exams.
Wow.
But when you tell me I cannot do something, it makes me want to do it more, right? So my mom paid for extra lessons. I did those and I actually got the examinations with a distinction.
Wow.
So I passed it at that level. And for me, math was always like, I'm hearing at the back of my head, you can't do it. So I'm always striving to do more. What set me on the path to do both accounting and finance was I worked with business. And the head of that business, the CEO at that time, even though we were in Jamaica, he told me that he had gone to Columbia University and his undergraduate was accounting and his master's was in finance. So that being my role model, I thought as soon as I go to the US on this scholarship, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I replicated that.
Beautiful. So that's nice that you had somebody to look up to and to see where this path leads. So when you came to the US, either during your undergrad, after graduation, I'm sure you experienced culture shock and, just adapting here. Tell us a little bit about that experience. And if there's like students coming in now, what would be your advice?
Sure. So I was a later year student. So as you can imagine, I did my university in Jamaica And when I came to the US, I had to do university over because it wasn't very well accepted here. So
Right.
I entered college at a later age, 28 years old. But the beauty about the college that I attended, that it had maybe a 60, 70% rate of international students. So we really bonded. When you think
Nice.
about study hall, we were all together. When we
Nice.
know that an exam is coming up, we are in the dorms studying together. You know, where motto was like, leave no one behind.
Right.
We were always on the dean's list and president's list. So when I graduated from college, I didn't even have a loan because
Wow.
everything was fully paid off. I worked in the bursar's office, so I was immersing myself as well. So
Wow.
culturally, outside of college, yes, there was a lot of adjustment, but within college, the community was so tight. We held on to our culture. We were meeting at each other's house. We were having our yard parties. We were really having a good time together. And that time just went so quickly, right? I transferred credits as well from the university in Jamaica. So instead of doing 4 years, I was able to do everything in 2 years. As a matter of fact,
Wow.
18 months, I was done and out of there.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. So how did your corporate career start, and, what are some of the highlights of your career?
So one thing I would impress on people to do is while you are in college, if they do offer some kind of work study program, then participate in it. So I did that while I was in college. And before I graduated, I already had a job waiting for me. It was
Beautiful.
not the ideal job. It was my first job was in property management. I worked in the Bronx, New York, and it was a stepping stone for me because while working there, I could see so much. And it introduced me to real estate. It introduced me to customer service. I would be a representative that would go to the New York City Housing Authority on behalf of my clients. It exposed me to so much. But while I was there also, I could be studying, right? I could be researching. And so I make the best of that opportunity to prepare me to do my MBA. And from there, I left when I got my MBA. And I worked with a public accounting firm. At that time, they were called Rothstein Cass. They have been since bought up by PwC. So working with Rothstein Cass, that dipped my toe into full-fledged accounting. And I could see how public accounting run, the different areas. There is tax, there is audit, there is just straight accounting. Right. There is working with the small group division or small businesses. There is working with international clients. And so my eyes became wide as to the many opportunities that were available to me at that time.
Beautiful. So listening to your story, it makes me, just admire your discipline and your motivation for learning. So do you think that was because of your upbringing, because of your culture, and it was instilled in you? Tell us a little bit about your discipline and your motivation.
I think when you come from an international background, you feel like you have the weight of your community on you. And so you don't take things for granted. And that is how it was with me. And I knew that I was first generation going to college. Wow. So I knew that I had to make a mark, right? I knew the sacrifices that my parents made for me to have come here. Yes, I came here on an international visa, but then they had to do their part. They had to support me. They had to give me a car. They had to provide food for me in college. Right. They had to put the clothes on my back until I was working. So it was huge. So there's no way I was going to take that for granted. So even though they didn't say it, I took it on myself to represent.
Right. Makes sense. It makes sense. And that's the story of immigrants. So then how did you decide that you want to leave corporate and start your own firm?
Yeah. So while working with small businesses, I noticed that in public accounting, it's those that can afford it in the sense that these were mainly high net worth individuals, right? But then there is a segment who really couldn't afford those rates. They really couldn't afford the scope of the services that public accounting offered. So what about that community? Right. And so I started to do bookkeeping, I would say on the side. And I started by advertising on Craigslist. And a small business owner reached out to me and said, would you like to come in? And I said, absolutely. It was, maybe a 45 minutes drive from where I was, but I was just jumping at the opportunity. Yeah. To be able to do something on your own outside of what is provided for you, as I think corporate is things that are already provided for you. You have to go fish for it. I jumped at the opportunity. Yes. And so that was my start.
Beautiful. I love that, you took every opportunity that came your way and you did not, shy away from how small or big it was. So
Yes.
kudos to you for that. So
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about, financial struggles that you see entrepreneurs facing.
I think entrepreneurs don't really spend time enough in their books or spend time enough managing their money. So say, for instance, I've had clients who either they don't do their books or only do it at tax time, which a lot of entrepreneurs make that huge mistake. Right. So when they want to get the refund or when it's time to put things together for their tax preparation, that is when they are frazzled and run around to get it done. The best thing to do is to do it on a moment by moment basis, whether it's going to be weekly, monthly, quarterly, but at least you will know exactly what's going on. I cannot tell you, even for my personal books, the other day I decided to review the books for subscription. And in this day and age, I think we're subscribing to so many different things. We don't even remember what we have subscription for. And we might be subscribing to something that we're not even using, right? We started using it. We paid $600 for it or $1,000 for it a year ago. The renewal is coming up. It's auto renew. You're just not aware of it. And so when you're in your books and you're looking, you will say, what is this? I don't need this. So small business owners tend to be spending where they don't need to be spending. And in terms of their cash flow, they could be managing it way better if they were looking at their numbers more often.
Right. So, but a lot of entrepreneurs, they are very overwhelmed by cash flow, finances, bookkeeping. So, and maybe they cannot even afford someone for bookkeeping in the beginning, right? Till they can get a head start. So, what would be your advice on where to start and how to deal with this?
Yes. So as a small biz finance coach, I actually teach my clients how to use bookkeeping. So I will walk them through the process of setting it up. First of all, choosing what plan is right for them. QuickBooks has plans as low as $20 a month for the first 3 months and as high as $200 a month, the advanced programs. There are also programs that are free, that has free plans. There's Waze, which I tell my customers about, WAVE, Wave, as well as Zoho offer free plans. So if you have to start with those. They will help you to get organized. You will be able to keep things in one place and separate your business from your personal. That is huge. Do not mix them. Business has to be kept separate from personal. So I would set them up with that. If they cannot afford to monitor their books, then I will say, okay, my business is here to help you with that. If you want to monitor it because you're starting and you have a tight cash flow, I will walk you through how to get it set up and how to maintain it. So I offer different plans to my clients. Everything is custom based. What do you want? Do you want monthly coaching? Do you want quarterly coaching? Do you just want a year-end review? So I meet my clients where they are.
Beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the resources that you have created, the workshops that you do. How can people get in touch with you? And if they want to work with you, what is the best way?
So on my website, I do have a free accounting checklist. That checklist will help customers to be more organized. So if they're feeling frazzled, not sure what to do when, this is a general checklist. It can be specified for your various industries, but it will show you what to do on a monthly basis, what to do on a weekly basis to close your books, what to do on a quarterly basis, and of course, annual basis when you have to prepare for your tax return. So that is www.blaizeaccountingservices/checklist.com. I also have a free consultation, 30-minute consultation, and they can meet with me and we'll discuss whatever is going on with the business so I can give them pointers as to what next to do. That is also available on my website through my contact page.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So let's talk about mindset shifts, right? When it comes to finance, there's always a mindset that is associated with it. So what do you think is like the necessary mindset shifts or transition when entrepreneurs are facing numbers?
Right. So it's interesting that you asked this, because yesterday I was at a mini seminar and they were talking about the 9 mindset of successful people. And one of the things that I think a lot of entrepreneurs are missing is that when they set a goal, they don't revisit it. So say, for instance, you are running your business and your goal is to increase your revenue by 50%, right? There are different milestones along the way that you're going to need to use to make sure that you are getting to your goal. And using your books to say, how much did I make this month? Who
Right.
owes me? When is this due? Things like that can help you to keep track of the ultimate goal. So you break things down into, I would say, monthly or even weekly, monthly, quarterly, so that you're progressing your goal.
Right, right. That's an interesting and very essential advice. Thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about how simplifying accounting processes can directly impact growth.
Right. So in this day and age, there is a lot of AI generated things. There is a lot of different softwares. As I mentioned before, there are softwares that are free. There are software that has paid subscription. I find that far too many entrepreneurs are still using Excel. Considering that there are so many resources out there, we should not be using Excel. We are missing out on a lot. We're missing out on automatic capturing of your receipts. You go to buy supplies at Staples or whatever vendor you choose, and you lose that receipt right there and then. You can, if you download the app, especially a QuickBooks app on your phone, you can take a picture of it and it uploads automatically. Paying off vendors. Instead of trying to drop a check in the mail and send it off when there is now phishing in the mail, you can automatically do that from your systems. You don't have to be driving up and down to collect payment from clients. You can do an automatic receipt in your books. So I think we need to be more efficient in the way we are running our businesses and look at what we're doing, because there is so much improvement with technology, with the use of AI. QuickBooks allows you to have recurring transactions. If you know that you have to pay something on the first of the month, you don't have to think about it. You can set it and pretty much forget it. The same thing with if your customer, you know that this customer is going to pay you $1,000 a month. You can set it and it will automatically send it out. And if the customer forgot and didn't pay it, you can send a reminder from in the software. So the efficiencies are there. We just need to use it and we just need to trust the process.
Yeah, for sure. There are also people who don't like technology and they're like, I just don't want to use it. Like some people say, okay, AI scares me. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use automation. So what would you say, like what among the bookkeeping tasks can you realistically automate and what should not be automated?
Right. That's a very interesting question, because I know that as someone from the Caribbean, I remember hearing my grandparents say, technology is taking over and I don't want to be alive when certain things happen. You know, it's like Gideon, the end is going to come. I think it's important that we embrace technology. There are certain aspects that we're not going to be comfortable with, and you have options. So there's a feature of automating your bank feed. Some clients are comfortable in giving the accountant read-only access, whereby they can link the bank account and the software, and all the transactions that happen in the bank flows freely into the software. Some clients are comfortable in doing that. Some are not ready to give up their bank account. They're not ready to link it yet. So the workaround that is that you don't want to link the bank account, but in your banking, you can always download the transactions. So that can be sent to your accountant that way. So there are different workarounds to do things. Some may not be comfortable with the receipt capture to take a picture and have it uploaded. Okay, you can have someone send the email directly to QuickBooks, and QuickBooks will put those invoices in the system. So there are different workarounds of what you're comfortable with.
Beautiful. So, how do you collaborate with other advisors to create like a comprehensive support for business owners?
Yeah, so that's also a different important question. So I do a lot of networking. So I'm a member of different chambers of commerce, or I will go to the events and I meet people and develop a relationship. Recently, a prospect reached out to me based on a networking event that I had attended. And they said that they're going to be needing bookkeeping help. So they wanted me to come and do a presentation on that. But in the same breath, she says, do you know anyone who will be able to advise on computer hardware? And right away I said, of course, I have a client that does that. So I'm
Beautiful.
bringing him in the meeting as well. So there's so many different ways that we can work together. I'm usually one of those support or trusted advisor that people will just mention things for me. Oh, you know, Tanya, I'm going to be selling my business. Do you know anyone who could give me a valuation on it? And of course, I have to come up with a name, right? And it has to be someone that I trust. Or I'm thinking about selling the real estate. I'm gonna wind down the business. I'm gonna sell. So do you know of any realtors? Of course, I know realtors. So in the midst of doing accounting and finance, people see me also as a connector because you're trusting me with your money. And so you're going to be dropping things here and there that I'm going to be able to help with. Yeah.
Yes. So, how do you manage all of this? Family life, work, business, networking. How do you balance everything?
Organization and support. Those are definitely the most important things. What to do when, using a calendar, using assistants, just knowing what is important at this moment in time and what is not important and can be delayed to another hour or another day.
Right, right. Yes, it is so true. And also giving grace to yourself when you cannot achieve something that you had on your list. So, what does financial empowerment mean to you personally?
Oh my goodness. If I hadn't been educated on finance and being educated in the sense, not just going at school and learning about these things, but really immersing myself in it, I would not be able to be where I'm at this station in life. I don't think I would have been able to start my own business because it's a huge risk. When you work in corporate or work in a full-time role, you know when you're getting paid. There are certain things you know where your health insurance is coming from. Not so with having your own business. You have to make sure that you have things lined up. You have to go out and get, as I mentioned before, you have to go out and do the fishing. The fishing pond is not there for you just to choose which fish you want. So it has hugely helped me. I am grateful for my education in it, but I think I am more grateful for being willing to take the chance and experiment, whether it's with stocks, whether it's starting my own business, whether it's managing my cash flow, just by knowing the ins and the outs, income versus expense, asset versus liability. I've just always immersed myself in that. And I would suggest anyone to have a basic knowledge. My son had the option the other day in school, high school, to learn about financial literacy. I told him, absolutely, go do it. And he's so excited for it. He's always quoting his financial literacy teacher. And he comes home and he asks me, Mom, do you have health insurance? Mom, do you have a pension? Mom, are you saving for my schooling? My college education. So he's learning. So I'm grateful.
Yes, the continuous learning.
Yes.
So, how do you define success for your clients?
Success is at the end of the day, knowing that my clients are satisfied with where they are in terms of, Tanya, you taught me something I never knew today. Or I thank you. I can look at this and I can make a decision in regards to buying this item. Or I didn't know that I was spending so much in this area. That is success for me. Just having satisfied clients and knowing that the service that I'm providing is helping them to grow, right, with managing their business, and also with just being better able to serve their clients, right? If you set up, I always tell my clients, and this is what I learned in corporate too. If you get hit by a truck, somebody somewhere should be able to pick up where you left off and run with it. And if not, that means you don't have the right procedures and operations in place. So I tell them,
Yes.
okay, this is your banking process, write it out. This is your process for doing this, write it out. Give it to your bookkeeper. If she has to add, if she has to subtract from it, whatever it needs to be done, make sure you have procedures in place, because the business shouldn't be that they always have to come to Anisha and say, Anisha, what do I do here? Anisha has to take care of other things. So this is what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, follow it. If you're having difficulties, let's come up with a plan on how to solve it. But yeah, the process should run smoothly. And if it's not, then let's look at them to see what can be adjusted.
For sure. For sure. That is so true. So if somebody wants to start their business and they feel stuck and they are like, do I do it? Do I not do it? What would be your advice as like a financial advisor?
I have to say that it took me years to take the plunge. In the sense that you overthink things. And the best thing to do is to start. Whether it's start by registering the business name, start by, I have this idea. What should I do? All right, see if anyone is interested. Tell your friends and family to see if it's a viable idea, right? Budget for it. There's some businesses that are more economical to start up than others. There are some clients that I've spoken with. They are at the stage that they're seeking seed funding for their business, right? So they're definitely wanting to expand and to be a larger business. So they're taking in investors. But there's some businesses that you don't need to do that. So it depends on your model. It depends on your vision. But always just start. Just start somewhere. Get registering the business name. Talking to a lawyer. Just picking someone's brain. A lot of time, professionals will offer free consultations and take advantage of it. Shoot the breeze, bounce things off someone. Get involved in a group that you can discuss these things. There's so many different ways to start up a business now. Use AI.
Yes.
Ask AI based on what you're thinking, what is a good way to start? And it's really not that difficult. There might be different parts, but it's not that difficult to get started.
For sure. For sure. It's the information is so readily available these days. It is just a matter of getting into it.
Exactly.
Yes. So what is the goal with your firm? What is the long-term goal and the vision that you hope to achieve through Blaize Accounting Services?
Right. So I plan to be a full service business. I am still going to be serving small to mid-size businesses, but full service in the sense that I'll be also doing taxes. So right now I'm preparing for that. I am studying for my EA exam, which is to be an enrolled agent, a representative of that. I can bring my clients to the IRS if there is such an IRS matter. A lot of time people will get a tax notice and they will be so besides themselves with trying to figure out what does this mean.
Right.
They don't want to be taxed by the IRS more than they have to be taxed. And that I'll be a representative to bring this information, not just to the IRS, but to break it down more for my clients. So that's something that I want to branch off into. I also see that the business will be doing a lot of webinars in the future. Initially, they will be free. I will be doing them through chambers of commerce, libraries, wherever will have me that will be offering services to small businesses. And then eventually I will roll out models where they will be paying for my services, maybe subscription based.
Beautiful. I don't expect anything less from you. That's such a nice planned goal and vision. It's beautiful. I'll be, waiting to hear more information as things roll out.
Certainly.
So, yes. So as of today, what does the American dream look like to you compared to when you came into this country?
I had no idea that I could even have started a business, in the sense that the business model in America is different from the business model in the islands. I think in the islands, you can be a street vendor, just go out there and have mangoes to sell and you just do it. There is more stages, more formalities in the US. I was talking to a Canadian comrade yesterday, and he said, in Canada, we have sole proprietorship partnerships and corporations. And in the US, I was telling him, well, you have LLCs. And he's like, what is a LLC? So, there's so many different things. You have to be registered, not just federal, as they do in Canada, but you also have to do state. There's more formalities, but there are more things to navigate. So I never thought that I would be the one to be able to navigate these different things. Right. So it's a little bit different, but the American dream has been, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about where I am and the resources that are available to take me even further than I could even have thought, considering that there is so much abundance for everyone.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for being here today and chatting with us, sharing your knowledge and sharing all your expertise. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have been with you. Thank you so much, Anisha.
Thank you. As we close this empowering conversation with Tania, one thing is clear. When you understand your numbers, you unlock a new level of confidence and control. Financial clarity isn't just about compliance, it's about freedom. And if you're building a growing business and need support beyond your finances, my agency helps founders like you create high-converting strategic websites that reflect your vision. We also provide podcast management services and team support for entrepreneurs who are scaling and need reliable systems behind the scenes. You don't have to grow alone. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that your American dream grows stronger when your foundation, financial and operational, is solid. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning into Your American Dream. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Remember when I first landed in the US, lost and overwhelmed? Well, look at us now. We're building our dreams together. Your story matters, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. If you enjoyed our chat today, please spread the love. Rate, review, and share. Let's grow this amazing community of dreamers together. Want more? Catch my daily doses of inspiration on my Instagram @JenningsTechCorner. Also check out the show notes for more ways to connect. Remember, your accent is the voice of your ambition. Your background is your superpower. Let's dream big and achieve bigger. Until then, this is Anisha cheering you every step of the way.